And I welcome you today to CSC Talk Radio. It's my honor, my privilege, and my pleasure to be here with you today. Well, you know, the stock market has been on a roller coaster ride this week. Again. The Mueller witch hunt that was supposed to end, it was supposed to wrap up last September. And then it was supposed to wrap up right after the election in November. And it keeps going and never winds up anywhere. Just kind of like the Energizer Bunny. It's costing the taxpayers bukus of dollars. While they can always print more, we can't always earn or make more. Another government shutdown is looming over us, as if they would scare anybody. Saturn's rings are shrinking, oh my, and, you know, Penny Marshall passed away at age 75 of Laverne and Shirley. So much is going on, and yet all we hear about is the witch hunt and the craziness in the news. So we're going to try and, I don't know if we can do it, but we're going to try and bring some common sense back into the arena by bringing on Melody CEDARSTROM of Discount Gold and Silver Trading. Melody, how are you doing today?
I'm just doing great. Thank you very much. It's always a pleasure to be here.
Well, we always love having you here. I guess you probably heard about Penny Marshall passing away.
Yes, I had.
Were you a Laverne and Shirley fan?
I was.
Yeah, I was too. It was
I mean,
sad.
that was the only program on at 8 o'clock in the evening when we were that age.
Yeah, we didn't have a lot of choices.
No, there wasn't 3,000 stations you could listen to.
But it was just a cute show. It really was a cute show. These two gals trying to make it on their own and working in a factory. I don't know if you did or not. You're a little more educated than I am, but I worked in a factory right out of high school. It wasn't a beer factory, but I didn't make beer. I made Q-tips. But I worked in a factory, so you kind of know I wasn't on my own. I was still living at home, but you kind of know, it was just a neat show, and she will be missed.
Yes, and, she was the first woman producer I saw this morning that had grossed over $100 million, and, of course, that was with the movie Big with Tom Hanks, and, that was just an awesome movie also.
It really was.
And I did work in a factory.
Did you?
I was in I did for, I believe, probably less than a week. Very hard work.
It is hard work.
And it was it was a textile factory that I worked in.
Oh,
and,
okay.
Very difficult. And so I do appreciate
the factory workers.
those that do work in. But, at that point in time when we were working in manufacturing, it paid a great wage.
It did. I got a dime more because I worked the third shift. I worked nights. And my mother happened to work nights in the hospital, and Mama never drove, and Daddy drove her to work at night. So I had a ride. I didn't have a car, but I had a ride. So I rode in, and he dropped me off at the factory and dropped Mom off at the hospital. He went back home, came back in the morning, and picked us both up. Mm-hmm. But, it was the first time. I mean, factory workers are on their feet all the time. They do get breaks, but not very many. You get a lunch break, and you get two other breaks that are about 10 or 15 minutes, and you're standing on concrete. And I was there.
Underappreciated, just like I think in offices, receptionists are always underappreciated.
I agree. It takes a special personality to be that receptionist.
Any business. Receptionists are the key to any business.
They are.
Yes.
They are. I think that was the first time I realized how tired you could be at the end of a day when I worked in the factory. I lasted about a year. I worked the third shift, and I quit just before I got married. I didn't figure marrying a farmer, which I wasn't used to, and working night shift was a good combination to start a marriage, so I quit work. And I don't know, as days going by, I'm thinking maybe I should have kept at it. But, Melody, that factory is still there, but they don't make Q-tips anymore, and it's Unilever now. It's not, it was Cheeseboro Ponds, and all those Q-tips have gone south. They're made in Mexico, so they don't even do that here anymore.
My textile manufacturer is probably in Vietnam or someplace else, China.
Yeah.
Because they no longer there. It's just shut down, and it was never replaced by anything. So.
Right. Well, I wanted to go ahead.
No,
Oh, okay, I wanted to ask you, about the stock markets that were going on this week, that they were just going. I mean, it went really. Was it Monday or? Yeah, because this is Wednesday. It was Monday that it really took a dive, and then it's back up today. So far, I believe it's back up. But what's going on?
Well, markets were down both. They've been down. We've had a lot of
Down
big
lately.
down days, but Friday and Monday they were both down, and the stocks are on track for the worst December since the Great Depression. So, even if we don't meet that, that report, it's still a very volatile market. And of course, both the Dow and the S&P were each down by about 7.8% through Monday, and that's the largest drop for each key market barometer since 1931. So, it's again, these are perimeters that people should pay attention to.
Yes, and I don't know if they're really watching them as close as they should, or as we should. I should say that as myself too, because I'm watching all this other crazy stuff, and I believe all this other crazy stuff is a diversion. I really do. I believe that it is.
Absolutely. I mean, we've got some big problems, and I hear all the time that people applaud the government shutting down. Folks, it isn't a matter whether the government shuts down on Friday or not. It's a matter of they're going to do a CR, continuing resolution, for Friday. I mean, that's a given, considering Tuesday's Christmas. They're not going to shut the government down, days before the holiday. They'll extend it a couple weeks, maybe a couple months into 2019.
I think they've already got it to January 8th. I think Mitch McConnell's got something ready to get passed. It'll take them through January 8th.
Yeah. And then they'll probably do another one on January 8th, and, then it'll take us to March or April. I mean, that's what they've done last year and the year before and the year before that. So,
it's nothing new.
It's a signal, ladies and gentlemen, to see that there's problems. If everything was so, and the only thing that they did, they got, 3/4 of it passed, and it was all due because of the election. Yeah. Just sign this, let's get this through. So, no one discusses it, no one looks at it, no one pays any attention to it, no one pays any attention to our deficit, no one pays any attention to the record amount of tax revenue that they're collecting, and we're still in deficit territory. And no one pays any attention that, stock buybacks hit a record $1.1 trillion of the year isn't even over yet. No one's really paying attention, because the only thing that they're paying attention to is the headlines.
Yeah, and there are plenty of those. I think I printed some of those off because I won't get into them right now. We'll do it maybe when we come back from the break, because I just thought, well, that's what's the problem. I mean, this is a problem, and we're not paying attention, and we're being chased around with all these distractions. Not that some of those aren't important. I mean, I think it's very important what's going on with this attack against this president. And it looks to me like they ain't going to let up. And it's costing this nation a great deal, not just in dollars, but it's costing this nation a great deal. We are headed into a break. Your calls are welcome at 877-895-5410. That's 877-895-5410. We're visiting today with Melody CEDARSTROM of Discount Gold and Silver Trading. She's a sponsor of the show, a very loyal person to the show. DGScoins.com is her website, and her number is 1-800-375-4188. But you can call her right here, right now at 877-895-5410.